Alright YouTube, here it is, all finished. We got Android Auto running. Our steering wheel controls are working. Our backup camera works. Let me show you that. And here's our volume so we can actually hear. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the Acura Audio Garage. Today we continue our DIY Pro Series on our Acura MDX. I have a bonus video for you. We're going to be adding the Android screen to this thing. So I'm sure you've seen other people do the Android screen. The thing that's going to be different about our video is we're going to be keeping the backup camera from the factory. So if you have a 2007 to 2009, the wiring is going to apply directly to you. If you have a 2010 to 13, the wiring is extremely similar. You actually save yourself an extra step. But you just got to verify that when you order this screen, we don't sell it. When you order from AliExpress or whoever you order from, that it comes with the right stuff. All right, let me jump into the video. So this is the screen we're going to be installing, and this thing is going to go right here. If you're wondering where I got this, came straight from AliExpress. It's about $150 shipped, so pretty decent deal if all you're looking for is a screen that you can do CarPlay on. You get the screen, you get a trim bezel, then you get a couple harnesses. You get harness here, some plug and play harnesses for the car here, and then you get your GPS antenna, some USBs, and then another harness. These two are the same. You get two of these. I'm assuming this is the one that we're going to use, and here are the harnesses for the car. Right away I can tell you from these harnesses that this right here, just from my experience, is the steering wheel control input wire. So this goes to key 1 on here, which means this right here is so that the steering wheel controls on your steering wheel can manipulate this radio. That's what this brown wire is for. I can see that's where it leads. Then we have this right here, and I can tell you this is an auxiliary input into your factory radio. So I'm assuming, there is no diagram, nothing else came with these, but I'm assuming I'm gonna go audio out left and right to audio in. Oh, sorry, I'm clicking on backwards like this, and this is what's gonna give audio from the screen to the factory system. We'll verify that in a little bit. For disassembly of the top screen is super simple. All you're gonna do is really pull up and then towards you. And you can see we have an aftermarket speaker in there, but you'll have a connector. I'll show it to you. We have the same connector. It's just buried under there. So here we go. This connector has a little push tab right there. You push the tab, pull it out, and that's all that's holding this down. So this comes off pretty easy. To actually get your screen off, you do have a couple of screws. It's going to require you to pull the vents, which also eventually will require to pull the radio. So let me get started with that. So these vents are tricky to get off. They're held on with just pressure. So you want to loosen this side. Like, it's not going to come off that easy. This will come up like so. This will come up like so. Then you can stick a pry tool back here and start nudging it out, and then it should break free from the front. Then you can just pull it out. Then you have one connector. Be very careful. This material will get screwed up very quickly. Here you can see I kind of damaged it from prying and pulling not the right way. So I was trying to slide my tool down, that wasn't working. I ended up sliding with too much force, and look what I did to our car. You don't want to do this to your car. So the best way is going to be to pry the edges, then try to get something back here. If not, you're going to sneak underneath and put something against here. So you don't want to do this. You don't want to put a bunch of force down onto this plastic. You will ruin it. Now you can pull forward and remove this. This has one little green connector with a little push tab, so all you do is push that down, pull out, and now I can get this out of the way. A screw here, you have a screw here, and you have one screw down there, and that'll help us get this screen out. Our 3 screws are out. You're definitely gonna need a magnetic pickup tool, because when you go to grab these screws, this is what they look like. You have 2 small ones, 1 metal one. They're gonna wanna fall. Clips here and here, I'll try to show you. Right there, it's clipped in, so as you pull, you see the clip kind of giving. You just need to apply good pressure, and then you'll get that clip out, and then you'll get the other clip out. And now I believe all that's holding our radio is this harness, so you're just gonna push down and pull out. And here, I'll show you the harness I'm talking about. I'm gonna have some relays up here. So this harness right here Gonna push down and pull back. So here's the screen we just pulled out. This is the screen from the 07 to 09, and this is the plug. So that's why when they advertise this, they say it's only for certain model years, because this connector right here is for this right here. So 7 to 09. If you have a 10 to 13, your screen looks like this. It's completely identical, but the connector is different. This is a 28 pin connector. If you're looking for this, we do have it. We could make you a harness to make you adapt this, but I think they already sell it that way. But screen's gonna look the absolute same, connector's gonna be different. Now, let's see what we need to transfer from our old screen to our new screen, if anything, to make them work. So it doesn't look like we're gonna need to transfer anything. It looks like what we're gonna use to mount are these two existing holes. I thought maybe we'd have to transfer these clips, but you can see they're not existent here. The only thing that will need to be actually modified is this cover here has screws, those 4 screws. We're gonna need to take this one out and put this one in, because I believe these right here, sorry I'm covering this and this, feed into these gaps. This doesn't have that, so we need to get rid of that. All right guys, so we transferred the screws. Just to note, the factory has 5 screw points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this only has 3. So you will lose 2 screws. Now we're just gonna start plugging stuff in. So this is gonna go right here. Then this is gonna plug into my big one. The backup camera goes to my last one right there. Here. The backup camera is gonna go right there. USB, this is the bigger USB, so that one's gonna go right there next to the backup camera. Then next to that, we're gonna have another USB. And then this big one, I think, is actually going to stay empty for our use case. Yep. So this one's not going to have anything. And then our GPS antenna is going to go right here. This doesn't have AM FM. You're going to get AM FM from your factory radio, so there's nothing going in that port. And now I can plug this into the car. I'm going to plug this into the car right now, just like this, to verify I have power, and this works. All right, guys, that was a pretty quick, fast boot. And you can see I have audio. I don't have anything else hooked up, just the power. And then eventually these should work that radio, but right now they're just working the factory radio. I haven't hooked anything else up except that black plug. I just wanted to give you an overview of what it's like. So I'm 5'5", we're sitting right here. You're at my eye level. This is what I can see, I'm short. If I want to reach, I have to move to touch it. Not the biggest thing, but something to keep in mind if you're short. If you're driving, that's a pretty big thing. If you're not driving, you're just setting something, it's not really a big a deal. Also, if you're using CarPlay, you're gonna be on your phone. So like on your phone, you can set stuff. You put your phone down and it shows up there. So I don't think it's the end of the world. The only thing is, they should give you a little stylus, or like a retractable stylus that has the ability to touch screens, and then you really wouldn't feel it, because you could just keep the little stylus here and then touch the screen whenever you wanted to. All right, I'm gonna finish the rest of the installation. Now I have to remove this panel, remove that panel, then I have a couple screws securing my radio. There's a screw in the far end over there, I'll show you. But this panel, this panel, this panel right here, we're gonna cover this so we don't scratch anything, pull our radio forward, and disconnect this connector right here and the other connection. Some trim panel tools, so we're gonna use them. We have a trim panel right here we need to get off. Mine's already off because we were doing work down here. But you're gonna pry this piece off, and then there's a screw right here you need to get off. You wanna pry with your hand and the tool. You wanna be careful when you pry. It's cold in New York, these panels are brittle. I ended up breaking one of them. You wanna be real careful when you pry. You don't wanna break any. You can see they're just real stubborn in there. So that one's still stuck in there. You wanna be real careful with this panel. The fact that those broke isn't the end of the world. This will still go in and clip in and fit, no problem, but it's just annoying to break stuff and makes you feel lousy, especially when your car's in like pristine condition. So now I'm gonna move over to this side to get the rest of it off. There we go. There we go. See this one, nothing broke. It's just get unlucky, it stinks, but it is what it is. Then we have one more piece right here, right at the bottom here. And that piece comes off just like that. It has those 2 clips. And now with those 3 pieces out of the way, we can get to our screws. So we have screws right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll allow me to loosen my radio, and I don't need to unplug it. Well, I do need to unplug some connectors, but I don't need to fully remove it. I can just get the room that I need back there, and we'll plug in the connectors that we need. I am going to cover this up right now so that I don't scratch it with anything. Alright, here are the two harnesses I need to hook up. This one I cut because as I was troubleshooting and stuff, it was making it real annoying. But we're just going to pull our radio out. It's going to come out pretty far. Our radio out about this far, we can start identifying these connections. Right there. It's going to be a little tough to see, but you're just going to have to deal with it. So now I need to find my connection for my steering wheel controls, which is going to be right here. Here we go. This is one of the connections that I need. I'm going to plug this guy in right here. And then this is going to plug back into my radio. Come on. Alright, cool. So that gives me my first wire. And now it looks like this is a 24 pin. Should be my next one. So it's going to be a little tough to see. I'm going to disconnect this green one so you can see it. It's right here. Unplug it. Plug this one in. Okay, all my pins went in. So I'm going to plug this one back in. I'm just grabbing the zip tie because I don't like stress on wires. So I'm going to make sure that if this ever gets pulled a little, it doesn't come out or anything. Same thing here. I didn't like how this was. The brown wire kind of just comes out and can easily get pulled. So I'm just going to put a zip tie. It just, basically all the zip tie is doing is removing the stress from being here to being up here, and it's less likely to rip, but you don't need to do that. So then plugging this one back in, and now just like that, both my connections are plugged in, and now I just need to snake these up this way. So I got both my connections plugged in. I know it's a little tough to see, but it's these two connectors right here. So one connector, 2 and 3 are the ones that you end up switching out, plugging that back in, and now I can situate my radio back. This is the main power connector right here. So since we didn't disconnect that, we're not even going to need our radio code. I'm just going to leave this right here ready so I can hook up to the radio. PS antenna has double-sided tape. You just untape it and just, oh, there you go. So now it's on there. Now I'm just going to mount it back in place and run it and connect it to my screen. So all that's left is my USBs. It looks like my USBs, I'm going to snake them down this way and into the glove box so I have them if I ever need them. So I ran them from here down. If you drop your glove box, you can actually stick your hand back here and run the wire, and then the glove box has a nice little slit for it to hold the wire, so you don't have to worry about it. If you want to keep your backup camera, you're going to need an additional harness. You need to pick this up from us or this right here. Depending on what year your MDX is, if you have an 07, 08, 09 MDX, you're going to need this. If you have a 10, 11, 12, 13, you're going to need this. They plug in different spots. So since in your 07 to 13 you still had a navigation drive based DVD, this plugs in. This plugs in right here at your navigation drive. If you have a 2010 to 13 MDX, you had this screen with the 28 pin connector. That 28 pin connector already has the backup camera. Since the system changed from a DVD system to a hard drive system, you now have the backup camera coming straight to this screen, and you can retain the backup camera without really running any more wires. You're gonna buy this harness from us. It's gonna plug into here, and then you're gonna plug this into the radio to get your camera working. So you can see if you have a 10 to 13 MDX, it's a lot simpler. This camera, you need this harness. This is gonna run to your aftermarket radio. This harness and this wire is available on our website. Just go under cameras, and you'll see Acura MDX camera retention. Also work for the TL in this year series. But let me show you how it gets hooked up. All right, so when you come to hook up our harness, you're gonna disconnect this, you're gonna disconnect this. When you disconnect this is gonna kill power to the navigation drive, so make sure you have your navigation code if you're not sure if this is exactly what you want to do. It's gonna hook up to this. So that's gonna click right in place. Then we just need to pick one of these screws to mount this to. For our use case, I added a screw here that I just have laying around just to show you. So then this goes to metal, your black side goes to metal. This is going to go to power. I'll show you that in a second. The next connection you need to make is here. This has a brown wire. Let me see if I can show you. So position number 6, I believe. Position number 4, right in the bottom left corner, there's a brown wire. You need to wire tap that brown wire. That is your reverse trigger. That has 12 volts when the car is in reverse. So what you're going to do is you're going to go with our harness here with this part, yellow to brown. It says 12 volts. It says car reversing light, 12 volts. So that goes there. And then your red is going to go to this red. This you can solder, twist together, and tape, whatever you want to do. And then you're going to run the rest to behind the radio. You can leave your navigation unplugged or plugged in. It's up to you. It's going to work. The factory camera will work either way once these connections are made. Something that's super important if you're doing this on your own without our stuff, you need to convert power from 12 volts to 5 volts or 6 volts to power the factory camera. So this wire right here, this white wire, is power for the factory camera. That is sending 5 volts. If you don't have a converter, you don't convert your voltage, you're gonna burn your camera. So make sure you use one of these or you pick up our harness. So now all our connections are made, and this is what it looks like. We have our yellow RCA to our white RCA. Our camera connections plugged in. Our power converter has ground on the side here, and this is power again be coming from the radio, and this is my reverse light signal. Now I'm gonna run this cable up to my radio. It's up to you if you want to tuck it in this way or that way. For video demonstration purposes, we're gonna tuck it in this way and run it up, just because it's gonna be the easiest to do. I got my wire underneath and over. Use this gap right here to run my wire. This hooks onto there with clips. You can feel a clip where my finger is. It's behind, and you can use that to run the wire up. Use this little gap right here to snake your wire in and underneath. Get back in. Here's the wire where it ends up. Now I'm gonna nudge my radio forward and snake my wire up to where the screen goes. So our RCA is gonna plug into this port right here. It's single by itself. These are video in and video out. Camera is over here. Then on our primary wire harness that came with it, you have something called back. That is going to go to the yellow wire. So this pink to yellow, and then red we're gonna wire tap. We're gonna go red to red. So here it is, pink to yellow. Remember, this is what has a 12 volts when the car's in reverse. And then right here, red to red, is just power for the camera. So now I'm gonna plug everything in, put it in reverse. Boom. Now I'm just gonna reassemble everything. I'm gonna put these 4 screws back, put that screw in, that screw in. They're a little tough. It still has a little bit of wiggle. I'm gonna fix that, but I'm gonna clip everything all back in place, and then I'll show it to you when it's done. All right, YouTube, so I completed the install. Looks pretty good. Show it to you. Backup camera works. This is the factory backup camera. My steering wheel controls work to control this top screen. These do not work, only these up here. I still have control of my regular radio. I can switch sources. So right now I'm on aux, but I can go right back to FM and then back to aux. If you have an iPhone, you want to make sure you get the unit that has CarPlay. If you have Android, you don't need to get it. You can download an app that'll let you have Android Auto. But make sure you get the right model so that you can get CarPlay if all you're interested is in CarPlay. If you're looking for the backup camera, check out the harnesses that we sell. I'm going to give you my thoughts now of what I think overall of the radio and its usability. So stick tuned if that's something you're interested in. Overall, I don't think this is really a bad decision. If you don't care about an audio upgrade, all you want is CarPlay or Android Auto, then this makes sense, because you just update the screen, you lose the old navigation, you get new navigation through Apple Maps, Google Maps, whatever you use, and you get Bluetooth streaming or Bluetooth or CarPlay audio through that. The only thing is that the aux audio quality isn't that good, and it's very low. I don't like it that much. So basically this needs to be at 30 or 28, 29 depending on the song, and then you adjust the volume from here. The only thing with that is that at higher volumes you do get some noise introduced into the system, and it's just the nature of the combination. You're using auxiliary from a pretty cheap radio. It is what it is. You live with that. If you don't really care about volume or sound quality, you just want Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, then it totally makes sense. In terms of usability, you're gonna lose your navigation, you're gonna lose your rear entertainment. I think you can kind of figure it out with the buttons here and get it to work, but it's not going to show up on this screen. I'll add some video at the end of the RGBS video conversion tool we were trying to incorporate into this to keep your navigation working. This screen, you could see it comes up no problem. This other screen doesn't like the video format that is being outputted. I don't know why. I don't know enough about video formats to tell you, oh, it's because X, Y, and Z. Now, I'm gonna unplug from here, right? I'm gonna plug into CBS in here, which is just an auxiliary input for video, into here. And now this screen, you'll see, does not like that video format. And if I switch, come on, so here's the icon to switch video format. I go into camera, NTSC doesn't show me anything. If I go PAL, I get, come on, this. So I mean, are you really gonna use that? No. So it's something with the encoding. Video formats are very particular. I don't know enough. This is gonna teach me a bunch once I figure this out, but that's gonna kill our idea of converting that video straight to the screen. It's possible. I ordered some different converters. I'll update this video once they come in, but for the sake of the video, I'm gonna continue. And but this screen doesn't like that video for some reason. If I put it on a regular screen, it shows up no problem, but this screen does not like that video at all, so we weren't able to get it to work. But that might be a possibility for you. You can update this screen, get the right video converter. It's going to be about 200 bucks, but then you'll get to keep the factory navigation on that screen. That's something you want to do. I can't say much for the built-in navigation app because I don't have the ability to drive this car, the engine shot. I think it's a bad unit. It runs Android. I definitely don't recommend logging in. This is very low memory and low storage. So if you log in to download apps, it's going to eat that memory up, and it's going to keep running services in the background to keep track of you, and it's going to kill your RAM. So do not log into it. It has a Play Store. Do not log into it. Download the APKs separately and then install them onto here. So if you want Netflix, download the Netflix APK. Do not sign in. It's going to just slow it down tremendously. You have the Navi, you can pick what app, Bluetooth, the radio. You're not going to use the radio here, it's not going to have any reception. Your apps, music is just built-in media, and then YouTube. Play video, I definitely don't want to listen to Ice Spice. Chief Keef, sure. Nope. Alright, so my YouTube doesn't work. I recommend, if you're going to update apps, log in, add them, log out. Or just find the APK somewhere else, because if you log in, it's going to slow it down tremendously. I recommend this if you want to do Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and you want to keep your backup camera. It makes total sense. You'll get Bluetooth streaming as well. You can stream it through the aux. That makes sense. If you really want an audio upgrade, I don't recommend this. I recommend going with a double DIN radio that goes up here. And if you have the bass, then you could just leave the screen there. If you have the navigation, you could use this as an extra screen or just leave the navigation dead up there. It's up to you. I know it seems like a lousy space. You could put the other, the non-navigation display up there so you just get the bar with the time. It's up to you. But if you do want an audio upgrade, I do recommend swapping the radio. And if you're looking for that, it's available on our website. The harnesses that I showed you for the backup cameras are available on our website. Working on amp integration. I think we have everything for this car now. So if you're looking something audio-wise for your MDX, check out our website, Acura Audio Garage. And that's going to wrap up the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.